What's up, guys? Hello and welcome to United Daily, a podcast exclusive to the All for United YouTube channel. Thank you guys for making the journey over here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, get in the live chat as we talk. I'm thrilled to have Natalie joining me today. You would have seen Natalie on All the Reds last night. And of course, the key part, or one of the key parts, Jonathan won't like me saying that, of our All for United women's content that we do here on the channel. She is amazing. Natalie, thank you for joining me. And a long time coming as well. Sal, very outspoken, but a lovely guy from Stretford Post. Thank you, Sal.
What's going on, Ben? Well. How you doing, mate? You're right.
Good to have you here, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're on for a good time today, guys. We're on with a bit of positivity because I've got to admit, and we're going to get into your guys' thoughts in just a second and do the Twitter React show where we react to tweets that we're reacting to the game. It's like Gogglebox, but with us. That's what it's like. But I can't believe how we approached the game yesterday. I was not expecting that at all. Throughout the whole week, talking to City fans, I was going to say, we've just got to be patient. This is the one game of the season that we should not be coming out the traps and trying to start fast. Because if we do, we can offer ourselves on the break for City, scoring one of those famous early goals, which they've done in quite a few games over most recent times, and they go on to control the game. Yeah. I've never seen us start a game so fast. But what happened? I was flabbergasted. And our defensive line, by the way, was... I'm sorry to swear. I don't like swearing on these shows, but it was fucking extraordinary. It was amazing. Our defensive unit yesterday was brilliant. Man to man, Shaw, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, amazing. We won't talk about Fred and McTominay. This is going to be a positive show today. But apart from that, everything else was great going forward. I am thrilled, Sal. How are you with that?
I'm absolutely over the moon. You know, just to get one over them this season. You know, we needed to get one over them. And I'm one of the few. I actually knew we would win. I had a feeling, not knew, but had a feeling we're going to win. I don't know why. It's just that after that Palace game, I felt like they got a lot of criticism. And coming into the Man City game, Man City played it into our hands. They attacked us. And as history proves, when you attack United, we catch you on the break and you know, we'll get goals. It's the low block I'm worried about, but I'm absolutely over the moon. Manchester is red. It's always been red. It will never stop being red. Yeah, man, I'm over the moon.
Spot on, mate. And Nat, what about you?
Oh, I'm buzzing. I'm sort of like, Sal, I'm sort of like, we can't be that bad. We can't be that bad again. And obviously we went out there fastest start before we even like turned the telly on. Boom, penalty, Bruno stepping up and all this. And, you know, and it really... It don't get to me, but when I heard him saying like everyone expects Bruno to score, I sort of feel not sorry for him, but like other guys step up, other guys help him. And for me, Tony Marshall, absolutely, like that is the Tony Marshall, like, you know, when he first scored, first popped on the scene, and unplayable yesterday.
What I've always said, Nat, I don't think there's a scarier footballer when he's got the ball at his feet and running at you than Anthony Martial. I honestly think he's just one of those. The problem is he blows hot and cold, doesn't he? But forget about that. He was fantastic yesterday. He put in a brilliant shift. He worked really, really hard. So let's get into some of the tweets then. Ugly Bear, Helly, Ashley, thank you for joining us. Getting a live chat as we chat. And I think there is only one place to start. We've given Bruno some credit. We've given the defence some credit. We have also given Martial some credit. So here is what we start with today. Nikhil has tweeted, how long does Shaw need to maintain this level to be considered world class? Sal, he was phenomenal yesterday, wasn't he?
Luke Shaw's been phenomenal for a while, and I think he's been one of our unsung heroes. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does. Maybe if his name was Roberto, as you said earlier, he might get more credit. I mean, I think he's been one of the top performing left backs in Europe at the moment. His performance yesterday was phenomenal. His performances over the last few weeks, been at 8 and 9 out of 10 every single game. He deserves his credit, and I'm happy for the guy after the injury. I'm absolutely over the moon for him, you know, and hopefully he'll get in the England squad come the European Championships as well. He deserves it.
I don't know how Southgate can ignore him, Natalie. How good has Shaw been for you this season?
Absolutely a different class, and like it's just said, you know, look at his chances created. They're up there with like top midfielders, top strikers. So for me, he's been absolutely different levels. I don't think he'll get ignored anymore. Not, you know, I think they'll have to select him. I mean, if they don't, God knows what they're going to come up with. But how long does he need to maintain this level? I think keep doing it. You know, he's been our most consistent player. So yeah, you have to have him up there. So keep doing it season upon season. He keeps getting these little niggles, little injuries. But I think Teller's coming in, even though he's not played a lot, he's lifted that level. He's added that competition to Shaw to sort of make him be on that level 24/7, because if not, someone's going to take your place. And I think that's what we need more of in this squad, people challenging each other and trying to stake claims. And that if you drop off that level, bang, someone else is going to take that place.
Yeah, and you're right to talk about levels, Sal, because he has struggled, hasn't he? Ever since he had that injury, that horrible night, he's struggled to get himself back to a place. And he came out this week and spoke really openly about his mental health and what he has been through. He has also spoken about the journey he's on now, how much fitter he feels physically and mentally. Do you feel like we are not even seeing the best Luke Shaw yet? Let's still face it, he's young in terms of a player. He's still got a long point to prove. The next 2 to 3 seasons, Sal, if he can keep consistent like this, we have got a cracking left back there, haven't we?
100%, mate. I mean, people forget when he first burst onto the scene that season when he signed for Man United, he was phenomenal under Van Gaal. He was one of our best players. When you get an injury like that, I mean, such a serious injury, it's hard to come back because mentally it's like a mental block when you're playing football and you're a bit, cautious in the tackle. You're a bit worried about the injury. I mean, it's only beneficial for United that he's picked up his form. He's playing like this. Just may it continue. I just want him to keep going leaps and bounds and just progress in the way that he should have progressed in the first place, because he was a world-class left back at Southampton, and I feel like he's a world-class left back now. I just feel like it's taken a while mentally for him to get back to his best level, and I'm happy for the guy. I'm really over the moon, and I think. Probably been our player of the season, barring maybe Bruno. I think he's been our player of the season this season, and he deserves all the accolades, 100%.
Would you agree with that, Nat? Is he our player of the season for you so far? And again, just going back to Nikhil's question, how long until we can start calling him world-class? I'm one of these people, I don't think we can call a footballer a world-class footballer until we see something consistent from them at the top level. And I don't think we can argue about Shaw being the best left-back in the best league in world football, especially right now. If he carries this on, he will be at the end of the season. I haven't seen another left-back play as good as Luke Shaw this year, but I only really watch United games, if I'm being completely honest with you. Sod everyone else. So how long until? Is it the end of the season when he's in that team of the year? Can we finally say Luke Shaw's reaching his world-class potential?
I say reaching it, yeah. But I think like with world-class, it has to be season upon season. So I'm not saying, he's not world-class or anything, but, he's reaching that potential. So if he then does it next year, you can then say he's a world-class left-back potentially, because he keeps doing it season upon season. And that's why, in a way, I know people are saying Bruno could be player of the year, but I think for me, Shaw has to be our player of the year, player of this season, because he's just doing it all the time. I mean, I think Bruno's sort of getting back to his form. Glad he got a goal, but he's sort of been off the pace. I know Shaw didn't maybe start that well, and it's only since essentially Tellers has come in that he's properly picked it up, that we've properly seen it. But for me, I think when everyone's been playing poorly or not as well these last 3 draws, he's been that one who's still creating the chances, still trying to do an assist. So for me, I think I would have Shaw as our player of the year this year's season.
Yeah, spot on, Nat. Spot on. I've got to admit, when I was going into this game, we're just slightly away from Luke Shaw and getting into the next tweet, I was very worried at how confident City fans were and how underconfident we were. Of course, we were going away from home again, where we've been very, very good. Outstanding record away from home. Doesn't get talked about enough, that. Into a game against City where they've just looked unbeatable and absolutely phenomenal. And I do feel like we were drained of confidence. City fans were overconfident, as highlighted on this channel in our rival fan preview. But Sal, do we forget things like this? This is a fantastic tweet here by United Robbo. This overall statistic here, that no team has lost fewer games in the Premier League than United since the start of last season, with only 12 losses in 66 games. Look, we might draw a game here and there and drop points and lose a game here and there as well. But losing's not a regular thing for Ole's United team, especially when you look at statistics like this.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think Ole's far away. I think football's all about fine margins, in my opinion. I think if he was backed a little bit more in the transfer market, maybe some of those draws might have turned into wins. think he's done a very good job. I feel like the only issue I would have is that he needs to be a bit more braver. But you could see something there. I could see something yesterday that I think, you know what, if we could beat Manchester City and we could be like, consistent in our performances, why not? Why not challenge for the league next season? Why not? Why not go on from there? I feel like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done a very good job. He's been under a lot of pressure. I don't think he's been backed. I said at the beginning of the season as well as he should have been backed. And I feel like he deserves some sort of praise for that. And in regards to the draws, it's disappointing sometimes, but we're fighting against a very, very good Manchester City side. Back in the day, you could lose 6 games, 7 games and still win the league. Nowadays, you can't, it's no room for error these days, So, we just need to take it step by step. Hopefully we will, go a step further next season and maintain a proper challenge for the league.
Yeah, Nat, were you aware of this stat? Because I wasn't. That's a phenomenal statistic to read, isn't it?
Yeah, defo. And for me, I'm a big supporter of Ole. I do think he's not been, like what Sal's just said, I don't think he's been properly backed. It's amazing. I mean, yeah, it doesn't show the draws, the Palace, the Sheffield, and the performances behind that. But for me, he's progressing this team. He's going to be the first manager that's done back-to-back Champions League qualifications since Fergie, and we've just got to give him credit. I said it before, he's sort of like stabilising the ship, and we just need to keep building upon it. He's laying the foundations and getting better, and each year is better than the last for me with him. And it might not be, I think we want a lot. We want to be challenging. We want to be, closer to City. We want it to be like 5 points away. We can see some kind of something on the horizon, but I think we keep getting closer. So, it's not the speed that we want it to go out. We want to be there now, doing it, closer than that 10 points or whatever. We want to be, we want to be top now, but we just need to take it slowly, and, know that it's coming, I think. And, if they back him and get him his top targets, this summer, for me, I think we'll be up there. I think we can look at, winning it potentially, next year. And I know then we keep saying these things, and I said it before, if we do this, if we do that, but it is on the people above to get him his targets, because he's shown he can spot talent. He's shown he can develop talent. And I was seeing a tweet there saying Shaw's the most easily improved, And Bruno, look at him. He said, "Get me Bruno." I mean, where would he have been if we'd got Bruno that when he wanted him in the summer? Get me Sancho, get me Hengland. And I don't want to then always blame it on things. I think Ole could improve in areas, but I think he's a young manager, never been at a club like Man United before. Obviously, he's been there as a player, but as a manager, he's only been at Mould and places like that. He's learning on the job. He's getting better every time, and I think this team's getting better with him.
Shout out, by the way, to Kerwin, who's just put a lovely message in the live chat. Thank you, Kerwin. We'll let them do them, and we'll do us, of course. But thank you for joining us, and please come over and keep supporting All for United. Ugly Bear's still with us. Ashley's still with us. If get in the live chat, I'll give you a shout if you want, guys. Hit subscribe as well. Like this video. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to be doing a competition to get you guys in the draw to win an exclusive iconic number 7 Football Town top. Honestly, these things aren't even on sale yet. Yeah, you've got a chance to win one through All for United. So get in that live chat and get supporting the show. Feel free to share the link and get your mates winning as well. Do you know what I love as well, Natalie? I think Ole's showing with his recruitment, his player profile and what he's doing at the club, that he's also got the potential to be able to manage big squads. There is no doubt in he's managed Pogba fantastically after that situation from Leipzig. There's no doubt he can improve players as well, manage them well. I still have slight concerns over his in-game management, but I think away from games, again, let's not beat around the bush, right? Going into this City game, Rashford had his worst ever Manchester United game, ever, I think, against Palace. He was awful. He couldn't even control the ball. He couldn't pass it. It was awful. Rashford was also one of our best players whilst he was on the pitch the other day. Not just the job that he done going forward, the job he done coming back as well and supporting Luke Shaw. He's made a really good partnership out there, and it does take 2 to tango. And I thought Rashford was brilliant. Again, his handling of Martial. Chucked him straight in today. No questions asked. Martial was brilliant. The only thing on Ole would be doing with Martial would be hammering on his door and going, "You should have put that opportunity away at 2-0 when McTominay put you through, because that should have hit the back of the net." But Sal, let me just quickly come over to you. One more thing on Ole. I suppose the problem is with the fan base. with the media, with the way that the Premier League is this season, we are dropping points away again from Ole outers and people chanting that and the negativity overriding again. How much do people just need to trust the process and make their judgments more towards the end of the season than in the current season?
I think they should support him now. You know, give him all the support he needs. I mean, ranting and raving ain't going to help anybody. We got so many different sectors in our fan base that, are Ole in, Ole out, but I feel like, given to the end of the season, let's see where we are. I would like a trophy. I think if we win a Europa League, FA Cup and top four, I think that's a successful season for us. And we move on next season. But I'm looking at the league and I'm thinking, so all these teams are inconsistent. Look at Liverpool. Look what's happened to them. It's just, we need to thank our lucky stars that we're up there, number one, and we're second place now, second best team in England. So we got to look at it positively. And at the end of the season, if we win a trophy, that's a bonus. I feel like if we win a trophy, it'll build up our confidence, give us that winning mentality a little bit to win a trophy and make us more hungrier for the future. So top four on the trophy will be fabulous. And I feel like people need to get off his back a little bit. People are too aggressive with it, a bit too personal. Ole's a legend, man. He gave me the most happiest moment in my life, apart from getting married. He gave me the most happiest moment in my life.
Well saved.
So I'm never going to criticize. I'm never going to be personal. It's just going to be football based and constructive.
Yeah, 100%. So bang on the money there. And Nat, just quickly coming over to you. Have you got a positive outlook between now and the end of the season? I think that City game showed us all something, didn't it? It doesn't matter what happened 2 days before. You never know what's going to happen when a team turns up on that football pitch at the weekend.
Oh yeah. I'm always been back your manager, no matter who it is. There, you've got to back your manager. You can't say in the middle of the season, especially middle of the season, sitting second, potentially could win 2 trophies. Come on, man. Let's look at where we are. I think at the start of the season, if we said we're going to finish second and we'll be winning potentially 2 cups, everyone would have taken it. So let's look at where we are. I know we've been at the top, so I think that's like giving that extra hunger to fans, and that's why there's more and more negativity, because the minute you get that positivity, there's always the other side. I think he does need to win a trophy, whether that's FA Cup or the Europa League. I think that's a really big thing. He needs to win it. I mean, I'll be so happy if we get back-to-back Champions League qualifications. I think that's important, and going from third to second, I think that's important. But I think now, for him, he knows it himself. Trophy. This club's judged on trophies, so I think let's go out, win the FA Cup, win them both. Win a double. That's what I say. Win the double. Go out there, put to bed all this semi-final nonsense. Put it to bed. Finish it. Close it. Bang.
I also think, Nat, we've shown, haven't we? I think we've shown in the last 2 months, the Liverpool game in the Cup and then the City game yesterday, that we can turn up in these big games. We can shift that mentality in these big games. Now we have to do it if we reach those semi-finals. And if we can do that, that for me is clearer progress than some people are saying, well, a higher points total showcases progress. No, Stuart's just playing. Get your points, Stuart. But for me, I want to see the mentality within this team change. I want to see there be a spark where this team is clearly visibly hungry for trophies, where they turn up when it matters. I don't care if in the third round we're winning 1-0 against the League Two side and we struggle through it. What matters to me is that when it comes down to that FA Cup semi-final or the final, we're going out there and we're putting everything on the line. And I think that is the slight shift that I need to see from manager to player to be fully confident that I think that we can compete, not just in these competitions, but also in the bigger competition, the league as well. But let's come away from Ole, and I think you're both absolutely spot on with that. Let's chat quickly about one more player, shall we, before we round things off. I want to quickly big up a man who we have both just spoken about. He took a late fitness test. I don't know if anyone knew this. He took a late fitness test and was bunged in the side last minute, really, Anthony Martial. Vintage United has put up, I know he didn't score, but if Martial doesn't play that game, then United don't win it. He was superb from the first minute to the minute he was taken off. That's the best I've seen him play in a long, long time. He was 100% my man of the match. Sal, comes back to that age-old question. What is Martial? Is he a left winger or is he the striker now? Where do we get the best out of him?
Oh, mate. I don't know, to be honest with you. But the thing is, people look at stats too much, look at goals too much. With Martial, the way he brings players into the game, the way he holds up the ball, you can tell from the first minute he put Man City under pressure. Without him, in that first minute, the game could have been a lot different, because he just went at Man City, won a penalty, 1-0, and it just was up from there. Martial's got, I always said he's got the potential to be one of the best in Europe. You know, it's just that obviously he's caught between winger and striker. I think he's more effective on the wing, myself cutting in. But I don't think we should just measure him on goals. I think his all-round play has been fantastic, and when he doesn't play, you actually notice he's not there. That's a good thing, because up front we look a bit lightweight without Martial there, and he was fantastic yesterday. Another contender for man of the match. You know, changed the game completely for us.
Yeah, Nat, what do you make of that? Because I agree. I think when you've got Martial playing in and around and off of people, we've got that fluid front line. He brings the players into the game. But for me, as a number 9, you've also got to have that clinical instinct. And again, him and even Rashford as well, fair blame to criticise both of them, when they both had really good chances to score. Let's face it, to score. They both missed up those opportunities. So for Martial and for Rashford now, is it about adopting that clinical nature? I think Chucky actually explained it really well on your show. We're relying on unreliable opportunities to score goals. We need to take it in our hands a little bit more. So when Rashford's in a position to shoot, he needs to shoot. He needs to be more clinical. When Martial's in that position that is in the other day, he has to hit the back of the net. Because if that's 0-0, Nat, that's a chance to win the game. Gone.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with this tweet by Vintage United. You know, that was the best I've seen him in a while. And I understand why fans get frustrated, because you see him in a performance like that. For me, that was different class, another level. They couldn't handle him. You know, the way he got that penalty, they were all around him. They could not handle him. And that, when we're playing that fluid counter-attack, off the cuff, I'd say, kind of style of play where it's just linked 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, quick movement, Martial is in his element. But it's like what you said about, he needs to take the goals, he needs to take the chances, be clinical like a 9. That's why we're loving Cavani, because he's up there, he's in the position when you need him, and he'll put it in the back of the net. You know, there was a header as well, and I remember they even said that's the one time that you want Cavani on the pitch, because I think it came to Martial. I can't even remember who crossed it, but someone crossed it. It came to Martial, and I don't know what happened, but he sort of messed up the header. But then in a way, he's not that kind of player. That's why I think I agree. He's sort of like a winger, because his movement, the way he runs with the ball, his touches, that 1-2 crisp link up. That's him. He's not the kind of guy where potentially, like through on goal with Edison, bang, he hits it straight at him. And, that'll be the one thing that Ole wants to put in him. Like, listen, take these chances, because he'll know, he'll come down to it, and we'll have a chance like that. And, that'll be, we'll lose or draw. And you'll think, look back at these chances. Luckily, it wasn't even down to already 2-0. That would have made it 3-0. But things like that, putting a marker down 3-0. I mean, 2-0 is good enough, but we could have put a proper marker down. We could have beat that City team 5-0 easily. I can think of 2 or 3 chances extra that we should have scored. Mm-hmm. And if you're a manager, Ole should be saying to them, listen, why don't you go out and win 5? Because for me, that's raising our levels by saying that, not by sort of sitting there going, yeah, well done. Yeah, everyone's happy. Fans, we can be happy. But I want the managers, I want the coaches to be saying, listen, lad, why haven't you done this and this and this? Mm-hmm. Because that's the only way you're going to get better and keep winning and winning trophies.
And also, Nat, let's not beat around the bush. I thought we controlled that game first minute to last. I think even when they had all that possession in the first half, you name a clear-cut opportunity that they had. They really didn't. I know they hit the top of the frame of the woodwork, but it wasn't a clear-cut opportunity that from Rodri. And again, second half, we had tempos. We had patterns of play in that second half where we looked like Man City. It was bonkers. We were on the ball. We were comfortable with it. We're playing really, really well. I want to get to this last tweet before we wrap up, Sal, and it's from Liam. Manchester United end Man City's 21 games win streak. Ollie's Reds, a top-class performance, deserved. I personally, some people, and I even saw a comment there saying about the fact that we had RD in possession, whatever. As if you're going to out possession a possession-based team in Manchester City. It's not going to happen. I don't really care about those statistics, but I felt like we were comfortable from the first minute to the last minute, Sal. So I want to come over to you. Oh, sorry, mate. I've just muted you and then you've unmuted yourself and it's caused a mess. You might need to unmute yourself again, Sal. Sorry, mate. I thought we were brilliant yesterday, but you know what? I also think City went into this game confident. City fans were telling me that second half performance against Wolves was one of the best that they've ever seen. Sorry, the Amazon delivery man's here. He's leaving it outside, so let's hope that doesn't get nicked. They've said that was one of the best performances they've seen in that second half to the Wolves game from a City side. Plus, they're on this 22 game, or going into the 22 unbeaten run streak, where they've been absolutely phenomenal. They were going to run away with the league. Ollie's Reds went there, and let's face it, gave them problems from the first minute to last minute. No City player on that pitch was comfortable. Wan-Bissaka pocketed Raheem Sterling. De Bruyne didn't get a sniff. Let's get it right. That whole back line for City that's been formidable recently had a nightmare up against our front players. They couldn't track a run because we were that good. Sal, are we ever going to get the credit we deserve for that performance and that win?
Probably not. There's probably not one team in Europe who can say that we could have beat Man City away 4 or 5-0. And there's no exaggeration, because we could have. If we were a bit more clinical, we could have beaten 4 or 5-0. And for me, that's quite exciting, because add a few more players to that team, to that lineup. It's frightening, to be honest. You know, Man City must look at that and they must think, goodness me, next season, Man United will be up there. United will be up there. We've got patterns of play. You can see that we've got a system. He's getting his tactics right. Obviously, it's taking him time. But yesterday, I was just over the moon the way we played. I felt like, I felt it was one of the easiest games of the season. I know it sounds cocky. I felt it was easy. I think Sheffield United are giving us harder games. It's just obviously with the low block thing. Obviously, it's going to take time for us to learn how to play against a low block. Ollie seems to have Pep's number anyway. He seems to have his number. Every time he goes to the Etihad, we seem to win. So as long as there's a few more, we polish it up a little bit at home and against the low block teams. I think we should be really positive about next season, the season coming, because it's been a weird season anyway. We've done really well in a weird season. We ain't had no crowds there. Maybe if we had the crowds there, we would have done even better, with Old Trafford, etc. And I feel like yesterday, we demonstrated what we're capable of. If we can beat Man City like that, there's not one team in Europe I say could beat Man City like that. And that's not exaggeration. We should be really positive and enthusiastic for the future, I feel.
Do you know what I got frustrated about? I don't know if you guys... Did you both watch the game on Sky Sports? I take it you did, because you're both in the UK. Who was in commentary with Gary Neville? Was it Martin Tyler? Is it still Martin Tyler who done that? Martin Tyler. Is he a City fan? Like, I'm genuinely asking the question if he's a City fan.
I heard he's a Man United fan.
Well, during the game, all he done was talk about how good City have been. When United scored, he then reflected it onto, the game's not over yet with how amazing this City team is. They're going to come and get back into it. I know he's jazzing it up and stuff, and I know he needs to do that. But from the very first minute, even when we got that penalty, he made an argument of it being outside the box. You're the main commentator. You're meant to be commentating on the game. That's Gary Neville's job.
Ben, he's always been like that, even from the Arsenal days when Arsenal used to win the league. When Arsenal would score, he would scream. When we would score, he'd be like, "Oh, he's in, yeah, it's in."
Another example, Sal, as well. At the end of the game, when Gary Neville literally just went, Man United have been superb today, Martin Tyler turned around and went, yeah, but Gary, this is going to be no skin off City's back, is it? This Pep Guardiola team is still going to win the league. And Gary was the one who had to spin it into talking about how fantastic United have been. He weren't even interested in talking about how good United were. And it's little recency biases like that on why we will never get the credit, I think, Nat. And what do you think on that, on yesterday's win? And how we didn't just end City's win streak, we humbled it. We made it out to that like they've been playing teams in League 2 for the past 21 games, because we turned up and we showed them a top class performance there.
Oh yeah, we made them look all average. All these names that they're burning around saying this and that, we made them look average, and that's why, in a way, I'm a bit not disappointed, but that's why if we had put them 5 goals, then what could he have said? Nothing. He couldn't have said coming back into it or nothing. So. I know people are sort of saying, he's always been the biggest hater, Martin Tyler. But for me, I just think that's the way it all is. All the media are a bit like that. When we do something really well, it's, when they come up against this and this is going to change. And like you say, the way City fans were talking, the way that all media, I was on the radio just building it up. And they were like, how many goals are Man City going to score? To me, a Man United fan. And I said, you need to just chill out. Yes, we've had some bad runs. Yes, we've had draws, but you need to chill out. We've gone there and won before. And, like was just said about, Ollie has a great record at the Etihad, and no one talked about that once in the build-up once. So for me, they just want to in a way, discredit us. Maybe it's because we've been the most dominant team in recent history. In my lifetime, Man United has been dominant. Yes, Liverpool is dominant, but, in everyone's lifetime where you can see it, watch it back, going back, Man United has always been on top. And now it's a bit of rubbing it back in our face, I suppose, because we're not where we used to be. But I think it's that kind of, they're coming back now. And they probably don't want to see it. I don't know. I don't want to be like one of these ones who are just making it all about United, but it's a United channel, so we're going to make it. Yeah. And it feels so good, man. Feels so good. Top class performance. I agree. It was absolutely different levels.
It's just pundits and commentators. I know most of them are ex-players and those of them have watched so much football, but I just feel like there shouldn't be as much bias there. That's what these fan channels are for. Surely the whole point in being paid to do punditry is to give balanced, level-headed critique, criticism, analysis, whatever. Because, Sal, like, we get the stick as YouTube channels for going either too negative or too positive. Like, that's the point in being a football fan. 1 minute you can be overly positive, 1 minute you can be overly negative. The point of a pundit is to keep it balanced and to give some proper intellectual input to these conversations, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just Sky, it's ESPN as well. They got a problem with us, it seems, as well. Craig Burley, people like that, you see him. There's obvious bias there. There is obvious bias, and I don't know where this bias is coming from. Because without Man United during the 90s, we done a lot for the Premier League. We built up the Premier League. We made it attractive again. Building it up throughout the 90s and the early turn of the century. We were the best team in Europe, and they should be thanking us for that. To be honest with you, but it seems like this hidden bitterness there. They don't want us to do well. Maybe it's the Fergie time. Maybe it's Alex Ferguson. He was very harsh on the media. Maybe that's why, especially with the BBC and everything like that. But I feel like, let them carry on hating. We'll just call it as it is, and it means you're doing something right, in my opinion. When people are going to hate on you, it means you're doing something right. And that's it. If they because I remember when we were doing badly a couple of years ago, the pundits were quite nice to us, It's because we're doing right and they're fearful that we might be back soon. And I feel we will be back.
That was the moment, Martin Tyler. He turned around at the end of the game as well off the back of that and said, United had a little bit of luck today, didn't they? Getting that penalty in the first minute. Well, it was a Stonewall penalty. How can you call that a little bit of luck? Like, it's anything to make it look like United have had the luck of the draw against it. He's to downplay it so that it's not
legends as well. They downplay everything about it's just the way it is. That's going to happen. Like if Cristiano Ronaldo, he was downplayed. Everyone was downplayed. It's just we're Manchester United, did it, and we're the talk of the town. Without Man United, they got nothing to talk about, and that's it.
Yeah, what is it? What do we say, Nat? Hated, adored,
never ignored.
Adored, but never ignored.
There we go, and that's what it's all about.
What I think it is. All these pundits are now, they need to step up the games because, like you say, there's all YouTube channels. We've all got like YouTube channels. I'm on this a lot, and I think they're probably frightened that YouTube channels are going to take over, and a lot of these guys are getting pushed out because people are fed up of the whole same boring narrative, negative. People want to hear different voices, different views. So then Martin better watch himself.
Do you know what though? What really frustrates me, right, is you've got a corporation like Sky. So this is a completely different conversation for another day, right? Yeah. But even doing this on like the smallest ever detail, right, in doing this channel, and you might agree with this, Sal, right? We have no budget. We do it for fun. We talk as football fans, and we do it because we love it, and we're passionate, not just passionate Man United fans, but passionate football fans, and passionate about all the social messages that should be out there when it comes to equality and when it comes to giving people chances to be able to flourish and maybe even go into a career in broadcasting or whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I do this. I love working with people, also networking. You meet new people, you have conversations with new people, and one day hopefully we can all share a drink and meet up and you've made friends, right? What I find hilarious is with these TV corporations, they haven't even come on from the Keys and Gray day. Like literally back then, it's still the same thing. It's still old footballers talking about how football was in their time and know nothing about the new game or interacting with a new audience. When you've got the budget and resources that the likes of Sky Sports do, I'd say BT Sport are closer to getting it right than Sky Sports are. you just don't invest it. It doesn't work. But even the whole model of watching football doesn't work anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it needs to be Amazon Primed. It needs to become an on-demand service. They need to look at what DAZN's doing with boxing and the way that they make that work. And I'm not just on about the key thing of paying a monthly fee and being able to watch all the games. Even the little things like YouTuber boxing and how they integrate with that. I mean, I think Sky Sports have tried this new show before Soccer AM with Chucks or Chunky or whatever he's called. I can't remember his name in the morning, but it's just not invested. You watch it, it's shit. Like, for a program of Sky Sports, that's no disrespect for him. He's a fantastic content creator and brilliant, but you could just tell the show's not invested in at all. It's just there to try and drive some social interaction. Forget about the social interaction. Think about the engagement with fans. How do you get them to engage with your live shows? That's what's important. And I just think, like, they're just completely missing the point. And they're completely missing this younger football fan. And I think the older football fans, all they want to do is just watch the football. They don't care what platform it's on. They just want to watch it. But us slightly younger football fans, we want to engage with it. We want to see the behind the scenes. We want to get excited for a game. Your old 2-minute montages of the rivalry between Manchester United and Liverpool, it's bullshit now. No one cares about that. We need more than that. We need Steven Gerrard and Roy Keane looking each other in the eye, going, "You're a twat. No, you're a twat. This is why I hate the Scousers. This is why I hate Man Q." Like, that's what you want as a football fan. And the problem is we don't have that now. The players can't live and breathe it. And I just think it's all just, there's my rant. I just think it's all very much underinvested, yet they rake in so much money from it. The commercial avenue is just, and then it's underfunded. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And scrap VAR. Sorry, that's just another side point if we want to keep ranting.
Yeah.
So where do you think it goes next for football channels like Sky Sports and BT Sport?
I think that football channels such as yours and everyone else who's got a football channel are just going to move forward, just going to take over. I think people just have to evolve with the times, you know. I, for one, I prefer listening to football channels like yourself, or United Stand, or, you know, Football Terrace, all these channels who've done really well, putting people on, giving them a voice. And, you know, I feel like I'm fed up of hearing Matt Letizia talk about Man United. I'm fed up of hearing Paul Merson talk about Man United, because during their life, during their career, they lost a lot of games against Man United. So they're obviously going to be bitter against Man United. So I don't want to hear their opinion. The only worry I have is other sectors of the fans. They're not so, you know, welcoming to fan channels, and I feel like they're a bit old school. They don't like people having a voice and stuff, and that's the only issue what I can see happening. But, you know, fan channels are just going to evolve, you know, and it's fantastic because, you know, we're not going to be just put into a box, you know, unless you must listen to this guy about Man United. You must listen to Matt Letizia. You must listen to Graham Souness, you know, and sometimes really biased as well on Sky. And you can see it over the years. It's been really biased. And, you know, I'm really pleased for everyone who's doing fan channels, yourselves and myself. And, you know, long may it continue.
Yeah, I know you get a bit of stick as well, mate. Also, what I'd say is those people who potentially don't like fan channels aren't for them. So it's, you know, it's one of those, you know, you can try and be inclusive to so many people, but some people just aren't going to get it or aren't going to like what you're doing. It's like, okay, all due respect for that, mate. Hopefully one day we'll meet in the pub and be able to chat about football. Don't worry about watching us. That's cool. That's fine. Speak to you later. The only problem is when it then starts to become abusive because of the platforms of people being able to have a say. And that's when it's not needed. That's when it affects mental health. And that's when the social society, so to speak, becomes a negative impact on the wider world.
This is why I interviewed Jason McAteer. I interviewed him because the abuse he suffered, I mean, I could not believe it. They were Man United fans. I know we have this rivalry against Liverpool, Ben, yeah, but I mean, some of the things I saw were disgusting, you know, and, you know, I had to reach out to him and I had to speak to him about it because he told me a few things about mental health. You don't know who's suffering. Just because they're a Scouser doesn't mean they don't have mental health, yeah.
You know, so, I mean, the abuse Jason McAteer got was absolutely wrong, and the way that was all done. Wrong. The only thing that I'd say to Jason McAteer is that on that day when he said what he did, and again, no one deserves what they did. He was always going to expect the United fans would get on his back, and his comments over a number of years rile United fans up in the wrong way. It's not just that one thing. You say there about bias there, Sal, so to speak. Jason McAteer is a long-standing person that has regency bias against Manchester United. He knows how to rub United fans up the wrong way. Didn't ever, deserve that abuse. Of course he doesn't. No one does. But when you do something like that and you use your platform to do that, for instance, if you said that, you'd get a shit ton of abuse as well.
I'm still getting a lot of abuse from the interview.
yeah. Well, mate, you take it on the chin, I'm sure. Nat, what about
All
you?
day.
Is there anything that you'd love to see from like corporations like Sky and BT that could help you out a little bit more when it comes to watching the footy on the telly? Yeah,
because like you say, I think that the way that they do it is the old way in a way, and like I think through YouTube, through Twitter, through Instagram, that this is the new way. So they need to get on board with that. They need to sort of, I don't even know, whether it's things like this coming on, like I'm reading with the women's show. We try to get different journalists on, get them to talk, get them to answer questions that Man United fans want to hear. I mean, that's sort of why I've sort of started doing the Barmy Army, doing all social media for the women's team, because there wasn't that much about, and it's trying to drum up that interest and show that the interest is there. People want to talk about the women's team like they want to talk about the men's team, but just sort of, even just the way that fan channels are, I love coming on shows like this. I love being on Stretford Pellet. I love talking to different people. And I think it's like, with us not being in the ground, I love this because it's easier for me to alleviate all the stress, all anxiety, and talk to people who are common like me, who've got that anxiety about building up towards the game, or who are super excited because we can't be together. But so I think people, when they say they don't like fan channels, I think, they need to sort of realise that it's just a way that, no one's sort of out there trying to be a superstar. And if you do get to be a superstar, good for you. I'm happy. I'm happy when I see people like Flex going on, because I know him and I've sat down and I've had a drink with him at Hotel Football and just talk for about half hour about the Man United. And I think that's what they need to do, get more people like this channel, get people like Ben on talking about Man United, because even he doesn't say he speaks for all fans, but he can speak for the majority of fans. And he's a fan there who goes out and pays his money and watches it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they need to just bring it back to us a bit. Remember who's paying that subscription. We're paying it, so let us have our voice rather than
they missed a big chance, Nat, and I think during lockdown was to bring back. Do you remember Fan Zone? Do you remember when you used to be able to press the red button and watch fans watching the game? And that's where everyone talks about, YouTubers copying each other's content ideas and watch-alongs like being a thing that was originated like 3-4 years ago. No, watch-alongs were invented by Sky Sports when they done the rival fans watching the games back in like 2002 when they done it for United and Arsenal. Like, that's what a watch-along is. They should have brought that back whilst lockdown was on. And again, little ideas like that, which gets people together. I've noticed recently that Robbie, who does Arsenal Fan TV, he's been doing more stuff on his own personal channel around like getting rival fans down to watch games, like, and being in the same room together. It's brilliant. Like, it is really, really good to watch. But hey, the evolution continues, and fan channels will continue. I think the big argument's always about you trying to profit off the back of the club's name. Look, if I tell you now, I don't know how many views we've had in the last month. In February, this channel made £2. I'm in it for the money. Fuck me, watch all the adverts because I'm getting filthy rich. Like, this has got nothing to do with that. This is to give people an opportunity. I love what Russell's doing over at Stretford End, and I wish that was my idea. Like, just do the charity channel. Any money we make, any profits go towards charity. I'd love to do that. But the fact of the matter is even right now, if I was donating the money from here to this channel, and every little helps, it'd be about £2.50 a month. Like, honestly, it's that slender. I pay about £28 a month, £30 for the luxury of being able to do this. Like, I'm not saying I want my money back, but what I'm trying to say is not everyone's doing a fan channel for the money. Some people do it, and I know a lot of people do it. This isn't just me preaching, this is what we do. Lots of people I know out there, and I'm involved in many fan channels, do it because they love it, not for the profit. So it's worth remembering that we all work full-time jobs as well and rely on great people like Natalie, who helps out with the women's show with Jonathan, Joe, Temi, Karthik, all giving up their time to interact with fans and to move forward with this fan culture that we want to be a positive one. Small steps make a big difference, and that's what we're all trying to do now. So I'm going to thank you all now. We're going to head off. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to Sal. Go check out the Stretford post. Thank you to Nassi. Go check out the All for United women's account, WFC, on Twitter as well. And check out the women's show tonight as well that's on, isn't it, Nat? You 7 o'clock tonight, Nat?
7:30, I think. Well, don't hold me to it, but, it's a big win for the girls as well. And,
yesterday, that's
why I do everything, just to promote them. I don't get no money off any, followers, making merch for the girls. It's nothing. It just goes back into them promoting them and trying to get more people to support the girls like they do the men. And with all the things that the Red Army and all that, let's all to build up the atmosphere in Old Trafford. No one's getting rich off anything, and I just think people need to just start, think, and realise and get behind the common goal. Support the club.
I need one of those tops, Nat. That's what I need. You need to tell me where I can get one.
I
need to grab one. Guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Take it easy. We'll be back tomorrow with a rival fan preview ahead of the AC Milan game. Me and 2 AC Milan fans. What could go wrong? We'll find out tomorrow. I'll see you guys at 12:15 tomorrow. Speak to you in a bit.
Cheers,
bye, guys.
man.
Stay safe.
Cheers, mate.